Everything is energy, including you. So this is how the energy of your body and your mind and your nervous system works. So emotion comes in through the body, then it goes up through the nervous system. The thalamus sits at the top of the nervous system, and it determines how much emotion gets through and into the brain. Once it comes into the brain, it kind of passes through a bunch of stuff, and then it creates your reality or your feelings. It creates your feelings, which then are passed back down into the body as like a message. So it's like a conversation between your mind and your body, but through emotion. Now, in the brain, once it comes in through the brain, the imagination center is like the driver's seat. It's got all the controls, and it determines what the energy sort of goes through in your brain, whether it's going to go through, well, like sort of like vortex. You kind of have like these vortexes in your subconscious of like memories, likes, dislikes, like that kind of stuff. And so your imagination kind of determines where that comes. And then from there, then it passes into the frontal cortex, which is your observing brain. And now you are observing the experience of it. Now, your observing brain sometimes will say, hey, if it's like, say it's had to develop a little earlier in life before your emotional brain fully developed. So your frontal cortex will say, imagination, we don't have time for you right now. We just got to keep things going. We just got to like keep on schedule, be obedient, etc. And so it tells imagination, listen, I can't deal with you right now. I just got to do exactly what I got to do. And so then that gets sent down to the nervous system. But here's the thing. Imagination center is pure energy. It's not in observing. It doesn't observe. It simply creates. It's meant to create, and it is pure energy. It's like electricity. If it doesn't have a purpose, and it doesn't have design, and it doesn't have guidance, it's going to go all over the place. And it still is speaking to your it's speaking to your imagination centers, your brain centers, your nervous system, and your emotional brain. So it just kind of creates all these stories up since it's bored and it's got to do something. And then that goes back down into your nervous system and into your body. But your frontal cortex, meanwhile, has said, we don't have time for this right now. So your frontal cortex is essentially suppressing all this emotion and telling your nervous system, just handle it for me. And this is when emotional suppression goes into the subconscious and it begins to create anxiety. And anxiety is stuck emotion in your nervous system that has not, either one, been able to come up and be processed into feelings, or two, it is feelings that got processed, but the frontal cortex, the seat of the viewer, the CEO looking at what's going on in the company, has refused to acknowledge it or see it or deal with it in that moment. Just file it away. And so now you have suppressed emotion and suppressed feelings. And is it any wonder that you have anxiety? Now, fear is a little bit different. We often think of like fear is like bad. It's bad to have fear, or you want to overcome fear. But fear is excitement. Think of when you were a child and your parents said, hey, you need to calm down over there. Stop being so excited, or what have you not. But essentially, they taught you to mute your energy. So you don't know how to be super excited about things. Oh my gosh, I get to try something new. That is fantastic. That is lovely. Your imagination center, your subconscious is going, heck yes, new ideas. Let's do it. But no, the frontal cortex says, that's not safe. That's not okay. And it sends that signal to the nervous system. Now, the nervous system likes to have proof. So imagine you've done this for years and years and years. And it's going off the proof that your observing system in your frontal cortex has said, sorry, it's not safe to feel right now. So you start meditation and you start emotional healing work and that kind of stuff, and you get to this place of calm coherence. Calm, okay? You're calm. You can even stop your thoughts. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's loving. You're accessing your imagination, and it's absolutely wonderful. But here's the thing. Your nervous system is still suppressing a whole lot, and it's not going to let go because it's not going to feel safe to let go. It's like a boiling pot. Any kind of crack, and it's going to rupture all over. And this is where, and this is where, like, all that emotion comes in. So fear is like a surge of energy. So we start feeling afraid of it because we're feeling that first surge of energy that's coming in from the nervous system that the nervous system is suppressing, and we say, hey, it's okay to let go. But as soon as it starts to let go, we instantly interpret it as fear, because it's this huge surge of emotion that was stuck there that needs to be translated into feelings so that then it can be processed, dealt with, and released. So it just creates this whole fun system. So when you are doing meditation or manifestation, or you're doing spiritual work and you're feeling a lot stuck, or you're doing emotional release, or you're doing therapy for your feelings and learning boundaries and all this good stuff, and you're just feeling stuck and disconnected and you're exhausted and you're mentally exhausted, you're sick of people, you're tired, you're just over it, give your frontal cortex a rest, as in your nervous system a rest, and relax into your imagination. Just relax into your imagination. Let that fear come up and allow that fear. Give your imagination something to turn that emotion into. So you can say, this isn't fear. This is excitement. We have been dreaming of, and then build out your dream. And give your imagination something to create. And then your nervous system is pretty excited. And then your frontal cortex is like, okay, let's see what happens. And then your body's like, all right, we got this. And now your body's says, what about all these feelings that are in the way of us creating that? We're holding way too many feelings. And that is when emotional release begins. That's when emotional healing begins. And a lot of people get really uncomfortable with the process because it involves a lot of tears. Tears are the language of the body. It doesn't have words. It needs movement, energy. It's energy. It needs tears, movement, dance, breath. So tapping, like anything that can give the body movement is going to move that energy, because energy is movement. Movement is energy. But it gets it can be embarrassing maybe if you have like a sense of identity around behavior, or you have this, that, and the other. So you're going to have a lot of subconscious beliefs popping up for you as you start your emotional healing, and you're going to say, wow, that's crazy. Why would I believe that? Or so then you're going in and you're allowing yourself to feel safe and reshifting those beliefs. And that's where that belief shifting and hypnosis comes in, and self-hypnosis. And this is where also meditation and guided meditation can help, because it can give your brain a new identity to hold on to, rather than the one that it is not safe to feel, and that we have to suppress all of our feelings and emotions because, well, we just need to respond and survive. We're here for survival, but we're not here for survival. We're here to thrive and create and enjoy life and have fun. So that was a really long rant and ramble. I don't know why. It's always so long. I love talking about this subject. It's fantastic. Anyhow, follow me for more.